Hello everyone, myself Umesh Reddy. I'm a teacher of history at Shubhra Ranjan IAS. So today the purpose of the discussion is we want to have a look at, we'll be having a look at the previous past 10 years questions of UPSC Prelims from the history section. So as you might have seen, the history section these days, for the past few years, the history section is one section which most aspirants are feeling a little threatened of. Okay, primarily because there are too many subjects to be covered, too many books to be read. Okay, but after that too, there is no 100% strike rate from any of the books. So that is one problem which many of the aspirants are facing these days. So what we are going to do through this session is we are going to, in fact, try to understand the pattern of UPSC, which areas of UPSC they are focusing time and again, repeatedly, where the questions are coming from. So, and we will do it on the basis of the previous 10 years question paper analysis, so that we will be able to discriminate at least the areas of high importance and the areas of low relevance, so that it will help your preparation. Okay, it would help your preparation to go in the right direction. As we have limited time for the preliminary examination, it would be better for us to focus on the more important areas and neglect some areas which are less important. Okay, particularly because if you look at modern India, ancient and medieval art and culture, okay, so in total there are 4 subjects for preliminary examination, and here and there sometimes they have asked 1 or 2 questions on the post independent Indian section too, but not of very great importance. Okay, so we should not lose our sleep on the basis of 1 or 2 questions, and definitely in the UPSC paper 2 some questions are quite doable. It means that you can make, or you can, with some effort from your side, you can in fact identify the answer for the question. But the problem is primarily with respect to the more difficult questions. But one thing we need to keep in mind before going to the preliminary examination is a question which is tough to a serious aspirant is tough to everyone else. So that is one simple strategy that you need to follow. So a question which is tough to a student who has studied very well for the examination is tough for everyone else. We should not ever evaluate ourselves on the basis of the questions which are very tough in the examination, which are undoable even after many years of preparation. Those kind of questions we should not evaluate ourselves upon. Primarily, the mistake that many students conduct is they evaluate themselves on the tough questions, but they let go of the easier questions. So my entire attempt today would be to make you identify the areas to focus upon. Okay, which areas to focus upon, and if you are able to answer the questions from these sections, then automatically think that there is high possibility for you to clear the preliminary examination, because all said and done, preliminary examination is primarily a relative gradation exam. So wherein, okay, so not the absolute mark but the relative mark will make you clear the preliminary examination. Our focus also should be similar. Okay, so that is our attempt, and for that, first and foremost, what we are going to do is we are going to look at some questions, okay, of modern India from 2013 to 2023. Kaisa question aaya tha, so how we should be prepared for these kind of questions. Then along with that, I will also provide you a list of important topics that you need to focus upon, the topics of highest relevance for the examination. We should be looking at those topics too. So these are the two things that we are going to do with respect to modern India, sir. And the same would be repeated for ancient and medieval art and culture के लिए भी. तो वही चीज करेंगे हम लोग पहले. Okay, कुछ क्वेश्चन देखेंगे, कुछ topics of high relevance we will have a look at, so that we will get a clear cut understanding about the preliminary examination. So before going into the questions, my intent is to in fact give you a list of the most important topics for the coming year's preliminary examination, sir. So when it comes to the most important topics from the history section, particularly the modern Indian section, in the modern Indian section, the topics of highest relevance are, one is first and foremost, okay, for every UPSC aspirant, okay, the section which is an interface between polity and history, that is usually considered to be the administrative acts during the British colonial rule, which can also be considered as the parliamentary acts of the British colonial rule. So on this particular issue, over the past 10 years, I will show you the number of questions too. Almost every alternate year or every year there is one question, sir. But many students, because of the nature of the administrative acts, okay, people are not able to remember and retain them or understand them logically, because of which many aspirants are letting go of this section. But letting go of this section is going to be a costly mistake, sir. So that is the reason why I try to read the administrative acts with complete thoroughness. And for the reading the administrative acts, spectrum as a book is not good enough. So what you should do is you should be reading Lakshmikant, because in Lakshmikant, okay, so even though there is no 100% factual correctness, but it is relatively better when compared to spectrum textbooks, sir. So that is the reason why you have to read the administrative acts of the British, like the Charter Act, the Regulating Acts, the British Parliamentary Acts like Minto-Morley reforms, Montagu-Chelmsford reforms. So all of these things you have to read from the Lakshmikant book, sir. That is a better source, and you should focus on the administrative acts, sir. Then along with that, the second topic of high relevance in UPSC is the various European trading companies, their actions, and their trading stations is the second topic, sir. So when it comes to the European trading companies, what you have to do is, okay, compared to other sources, the better source is spectrum. So European trading companies, particularly the Portuguese, when they came, when they exited, which kind of stations they have taken control of, Dutch, Danes. So this way, for every European trading company, you need to have a look at the European trading companies' actions in India, what kind of policies they have followed, and which trading stations were under their control are the three areas that you need to focus on. And for this, you can depend on Google too, because on Google in Wikipedia page, particularly we have every European trading company's history is also given. Then along with the history, but history reading is very difficult because they are very long articles. But at least try to take out the maps from the European trading companies with different trading stations that they have established, so that they will be useful for you, sir. But give very high importance to European trading companies too. That is the topic of second highest relevance, sir. Then the third highest topic of relevance is, in fact, the socio-religious reformers of India. So this is an oft repeated question in UPSC preliminary is on the various socio-religious reformers, the ideology of the socio-religious reformers, what papers they have published. Okay, for this section particularly, you can read spectrum. It is decently good. Then along with that, you can have a look at the appendix of the spectrum, appendices. So wherein there are a lot many socio-religious reformers covered. So you can have a look at that socio-religious reformer section. Okay, socio-religious reformer section is very important for every year the preliminary examination. So if you are reading modern India, first and foremost, you exhaust these three topics, sir. And along with that, the fourth topic of highest relevance is the topic of transfer of power. Transfer of power is what the British did between 1939 to 1947. So it means that you have to start with the outbreak of the Second World War to, okay, the India Independence Act. What kind of provisions are there in each proposal made by the Britishers? How the transfer of power is a very, very important event, because the transfer of power did not happen to a single country. It also led to the partition of India and Pakistan. So what kind of provisions were there in each act or each proposal? What kind of provisions were made? So this is also a topic of very high relevance, sir. If you read these four topics properly, so minimum to minimum, if modern India questions may आपको, so minimum of 4 marks and a maximum of, okay, even 8 marks also can be awarded from these four sections, sir. So these four sections are of very high importance. So you need to definitely, okay, focus upon these four areas, sir. Then apart from these four areas, one more important thing is this year, okay, so particularly there are some personalities of modern India who are highly relevant for us, sir. Particularly you might have seen that, okay, so Shantiniketan, it got the UNESCO World Heritage Site tag, because of which the personality of Rabindranath Tagore is going to be very relevant, sir. So we have seen this pattern in UPSC, wherein if any UNESCO World Heritage Site tag is given to any historical or heritage site, UPSC's interest is naturally attracted towards the said topic, sir. So primarily because this year you might have seen that two areas, one is Shantiniketan Ashram in of Rabindranath Tagore. Then along with that, okay, you might have seen that Halebeedu, Beluru and Somnathpur temples have been given UNESCO World Heritage Site tag. So these two areas you need to focus upon, sir. Give special focus to these areas. Then apart from, okay, so Rabindranath Tagore, one more important personality, because we might have seen that many statues of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar have been erected this year, okay, particularly in the southern states. We see, okay, this Ambedkarism becoming very strong. So that is the reason why the personality of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar is also of very high relevance. What actions he has done, where he got educated, what kind of books he has written, what is his philosophy, what kind of organizations he established. So all of these aspects are going to be very high importance, sir. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Then apart from Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, okay, so one more personality usually, okay, so that is oft asked as a question is the personality of Mahatma Gandhi, sir. So definitely on Mahatma Gandhi, we can expect questions every year. Every year we can expect questions because UPSC is very interested in Mahatma Gandhi. So we might have seen some philosophical questions also comparing Gandhi with Marx that have been asked. So Gandhi, Gandhian philosophy, Gandhian actions, the organizations, newspapers, books written by Gandhiji. So in fact, one book of Gandhiji which is most neglected was the Songs from Prison. And UPSC precisely picked up that book and asked who wrote this book called Songs from Prison. So that is the reason why you have to do some research on Gandhiji. So definitely, okay, so some good online articles are also there. But Spectrum also has a decent coverage of Gandhiji, sir. So you have to focus on personalities like Gandhiji. That too, this year is 2024. The only time Indian National Gandhi became the president of Indian National Congress is in the year 1924, sir. So this is the centenary year of Gandhi becoming the president of Indian National Congress. So he became the president of Indian National Congress at its Belgavi session. So this is the 100th year. So please focus on Gandhiji, the Belgavi session. So Indian National Congress, ये सब चीज थोड़ा important रहेगा sir. Then along with that, one more area of importance, okay, that you need to focus upon is, so you have to, okay, so usually many more questions have been, or many questions are being asked from primarily the extremist section and the revolutionary terrorist section, sir. Two areas of importance are, one is the extremist leaders, particularly leaders like Lala Lajpat Rai, Madan Mohan Malavya. Then along with that, we have BG Tilak. So on these kind of leaders, they are asking many questions, sir. Then along with the extremist leaders, there is a section called revolutionary terrorist. And UPSC is very intelligently asking the questions on revolutionary terrorists, particularly on the names of the personalities. So by giving special focus to the personalities involved in revolutionary terrorism, you have to look at the revolutionary terrorist part too, sir. So one is extremist, the second one is revolutionary terrorist. So these two areas you focus upon, Gandhi, Ambedkar. Then along with that, okay, so you focus upon the personality of Rabindranath Tagore for this year prelims. So this is one thing that you have to do with respect to the preliminary examination, sir. Then apart from these 5 to 6 personalities, one more area that you need to give special focus in UPSC prelims is, so in fact, the positive contribution of the British in various fields is one thing that we need to focus upon, sir. Particularly in fields like education, what did the British do? Positive contribution of British with respect to the socio-religious reform movements. So what they have done. So very in-depth questions have been asked on the positive contributions of the British rule in India. So that is also one area that you need to give special focus upon, sir. Then when you read the national movement, okay, just understand this, sir. When you read the national movement, what we have to do is you have to definitely give special focus to the reasons for the launch of the movement. Then apart from that, the outcomes of the movement are also asked as a multiple number of times as a question. Then along with that, the regional manifestations of the movement. Regional manifestations means what? One movement has been launched by Gandhiji in one particular place in India. Let's suppose the Dandi March was done by Gandhiji. But at the same time, how the movement was launched, or what was the regional manifestation? What happened in Tamil Nadu? What happened in Odisha? What happened in Bengal? Who are the leaders? So ऐसा regional manifestations पे questions आने का ज़्यादा chances है, sir. So rather than, okay, just whiling away your time in reading the entire movement, it is better for you to focus upon the reasons, outcomes, and the regional manifestations of the movement are the 3 areas that you need to focus upon, sir. So particularly these areas are of high importance. Then along with that, this year, particularly one British personality who is very, very important for us is Thomas Macaulay, sir. Primarily because, okay, this year the IPC, which has been drafted by Thomas Macaulay, it has been revoked by the Indian government, and new laws like BNSS have been integrated or have been included as the penal codes of India. So because of which reason, what you have to do is you have to focus on Thomas Macaulay, because his hand is there in education, his hand is there in with respect to the Indian penal code, and he is the first law member of India, and he is the chairman of the first law commission of India. So this way, Thomas Macaulay, he is in fact a very, very important personality this year, sir. So very important personality. So focus upon Thomas Macaulay. Special focus on Thomas Macaulay you have to give this year, sir. Then apart from that, one more important thing that you need to focus upon is, so in fact, the educational policies of the British colonial rule. So that is one area that you need to focus upon. So this is one thing that you have to focus upon this year is with respect to the educational policies too. So primarily because Shantiniketan is one issue that has happened. Thomas Macaulay is also involved with education. Because of these 2 to 3 factors, what you need to do is you need to give special focus to the education policy. But my sincere suggestion to you people is, do not read, okay, do not read Spectrum cover to cover, sir. So you have to neglect some sections of Spectrum too. So you can neglect the system of or press policies, and in some areas they have given excessive number of names like roundtable conferences, which you can neglect completely. Then apart from this, you can also neglect the British conquest of India over the past 10 years. Okay, not many questions have been, not many, nahin, zero number of questions have been asked from the British conquest of India, sir. There were no questions on Mysore's conquest, Maratha conquest, Bengal conquest. On these areas, UPSC is not giving much focus these days, sir. So these are the important areas that you need to focus upon. And if you just want to ask me that which 5 areas are very important for the examination, the personality that I have talked about, the administrative acts or the British parliamentary acts, then transfer of power issue, socio-religious reform movements, then along with that, okay, so one more important thing is the European trading companies, sir. इन 5 एरिया पे आप लोग को टाइम कम है तो इन 5 एरिया को 2-3 बार पढ़ लीजिए सर. So that is more important for you. So please try to focus upon these 5 areas. Now we will have a look at the previous year questions. So whatever important topics I have talked about, so let's see, okay, whether they have been asked as questions, and we will also try to segregate the questions on the basis of the questions which are doable and the questions which cannot be done also we will try to see, sir. Okay, definitely some questions are bouncers in UPSC, and okay, it is better to duck, okay, on a bouncer rather than trying to hook it, sir. Okay, so that is the reason why please focus on this. Don't try bouncer questions in the examination. Whatever amount of preparation is there, the bouncer questions are, okay, some things which you have to leave out, sir. I'm repeating myself at the cost of repetition. I'm saying this statement. So please duck on a bouncer. Don't try to attempt the bouncer questions. They are anyhow undoable questions, sir. So now let's focus on this area, sir. So by which one of the following acts was the Governor General of Bengal designated as Governor General of India is the first question that has been asked. So definitely, okay, the question's answer is the Charter Act of 1833 is the answer. So Governor General of Bengal became Governor General of India in the Charter Act of 1833. And the first Governor General of India is William Bentinck. Whereas the last Governor General of India is C. Rajagopalachari. Is it true or not? Then apart from that, who is the first Viceroy of India? This also can be asked as a question. Lord Canning is the first Viceroy. And the last Viceroy of India is whom? Mountbatten is again the last Viceroy. Okay. So then apart from this, we can ask a question on who is the first Governor General of Bengal. That is Warren Hastings. So ऐसा वाला भी question पूछ सकते हैं. And the Governor General of Bengal office is established in the year 1784. No, 1773 is the year when the office of Governor General of Bengal has been established. तो ऐसा भी क्वेश्चन पूछ सकते हैं. So this way there will be multiple possibilities of questions, sir. So just focus on this area of administrative acts. The answer for the first question is the Charter Act of 1833. Then the second question, if you look at with reference to Indian history, Alexander Reed, okay, H. Longrust, Robert Sewell, James Burgess, and Walter Elliot were associated with is the question, sir. See, in this question, definitely all the names are of archaeologists, sir. But of these people, the most prominent person is Robert Sewell, sir. He is the fetch in this answer. Primarily because Robert Sewell is one important personality who has written a book called Forgotten Empire on the Vijayanagara Empire and its glory. He is the person who in fact makes you narrow down towards the option of archaeological excavators, sir. In fact, in your book Themes in Indian History Part 2, in the Vijayanagara Empire also his name is clearly mentioned, along with the people like Colin Mackenzie who have excavated the Vijayanagara Empire city of Hampi. So this was the question that has been asked, sir. So the answer for this question is definitely archaeological excavations or excavators they were associated with archaeological excavations. So A is the answer for this question. Then the third question, if you look at 7th August is declared as National Handloom Day. It was in 1905 that the Swadeshi movement was launched on the same day is the question, sir. So in fact, this is the okay old assertion and reason type questions have again re-entered into UPSC in the year 2023, sir. So the same type of question has been asked. So in fact, if you look at this question, the question is asking you about a specific date, sir. So in fact, we have 5 prominent national movements: Swadeshi, Home Rule League movement. Then along with that, there is non-cooperation movement, civil disobedience movement, and along with that, there is Quit India movement, sir. When it comes to these 5 movements, it is not very difficult for us to remember the start day of these 5 movements. So in fact, in the past 10 years, 2 questions have been asked on the same, sir. One is already a question has been asked on Quit India movement when it was started. It was on 8th August of 1942 that the Quit India movement has started. So that is one good question that has been asked. That is the reason why the Quit India movement is called as August Revolution. So similarly, here also they asked a specific date, sir. So please try to, okay, so remember the specific dates of the 5 prominent movements of India, sir. 5 prominent movement है, सबका date याद रख लीजिए. And the answer for this question is, in fact, both the statements are correct. And the statement 2 is the correct explanation for statement 1 is the answer for this question, sir. That is the answer is A is the answer for this question. Okay, so this is one very good question that has been asked, sir. So 5 movements are there. Try to remember their names. Okay, that would be more convenient for you. Then the next one is, just have a look at this question. In the Government of India Act of 1990, the functions of the provincial government were divided into reserved and transferred subjects. Which of the following were treated as reserved subjects? Here is the question, sir. See, in fact, UPSC is going very depth with respect to administrative acts of India, sir. बहुत depth में question पूछ रहे हैं. So, and in order to answer this kind of questions, the thing is you have to be very, very thorough with the administrative act, sir. But there is one simple logic. In 1919 Act, under the provisions of diarchy, some provisions are given as reserved subjects, some are given as transferred subjects, sir. So definitely the reserved subjects are under the control of the Britishers, transferred are given to Indians. And during the British colonial rule, okay, whichever subject is of importance for the British, will they transfer that to Indians? Naturally, they will not transfer that to Indians. On the basis of this logic, you will be able to narrow down upon the answer, sir. See the options: administration of justice. In fact, they were not ready for the Indian judges to prosecute them. Okay, so that is the reason why the Ilbert Bill controversy has happened. So definitely administration of justice they will not going to transfer. Then second one is local self-government. But is local self-government even today, it is not a very powerful department, sir. So that is the reason why they transferred this department. Then the third one is land revenue. Okay, the British are in India for the sake of revenue. So why will they transfer the land revenue to Indians? That is also wrong. Then the third one is policing power, or the fourth one is policing power. Will the British transfer the policing power to Indians, sir? So definitely they are not going to transfer the policing power. So that's the reason why the answer for this question is 1, 2 and 4 is the answer for this question, sir. So 1, 2 and 4. So all these are 1, 2 and 4 are the reserved subjects, sir. D is the answer for this question. Then the next question, see this one. So consider the following freedom fighters: Birendra Kumar Ghosh, Yogesh Chandra Chatterjee and Raj Bihari Bose. Which of the following personalities are associated with the Gadar party is the question that has been asked, sir. Definitely in India there were numerous secret societies and organizations which have been set up in order to fight against the British colonial rule, sir. But you give special focus to the Gadar party is one because it is already asked as a question. Then HRA, HSRA, Anushilan Samiti. Then along with that, whichever Indian went outside of India in order to fight against the British colonial rule. So those are also important personalities, sir. In fact, there was at one point of time a very wonderful question on M.N. Roy, sir. And so UPSC wants us to know about Indians who went outside and fought against the British rule. So revolutionary terrorism from foreign lands. Then along with that 4 revolutionary terrorist organizations, uska members ka naam bhi yaad rakh lijiye, sir. Particularly it would be helpful in answering these kind of questions. So first one, Birendra Kumar Ghosh. So in fact he is the brother of Arvindo Ghosh and they were involved in the Swadeshi movement and Anushilan Samiti. Definitely they are not part of Gadar party. Then the second person is Yogesh Chandra Chatterjee. So JDC Chatterjee is one important member of Hindustan Socialist Republican Association, sir. He belongs to the HSRA and he is an associate of Bhagat Singh. And Bhagat Singh came after the Gadar movement, sir. Okay, that is the reason why the second option is also wrong. Then the third person is Raj Bihari Bose. In fact, he is one of the fiery revolutionary terrorists of India who tried to kill the British Viceroy Hardinge when he was entering into Delhi, sir. In fact, 1911, the shift of capital has also already been asked as a question. Then from Calcutta to Delhi. Then during the shift of capital itself, the Viceroy Lord Hardinge, he faced a bomb attack by Raj Bihari Bose, sir. Okay, so Raj Bihari Bose and Basant Kumar Vishwas are the 2 people who threw bomb on Lord Hardinge. So because of which reason, Raj Bihari Bose, after that also he became the leader of the Gadar party. Then he escaped from India to Japan. So here you remember there are 2 people, Raj Bihari Ghosh and Raj Bihari Bose, sir. Ghosh is the person who is the president of Indian National Congress in its 1907 Surat session, sir. Whereas Bose is the person who is involved in revolutionary terrorism. Just remember that Bose, Subhash Chandra Bose and Raj Bihari Bose both are revolutionary terrorists linked to Japan, sir. Linked to Japan, that one logic you remember. So 3 is the answer for this question. 3 only is the answer for this question, sir. The next question, see this. With reference to the proposals of the Cripps mission, consider the following statements. I told you that transfer of power is very, very important subject matter. So if you see, the Constituent Assembly would have members nominated by the provincial assemblies as well as the princely states. So we need to know thoroughly every provision of the various proposals which have been made, sir. In fact, the British, okay, already they were conducting elections. Why will they send the nominees of the provincial states to the Constituent Assembly? Very simple logic. They said elected members from provinces and nominated members from princely states. That has been their standard proposal, sir. So because of which reason, the first statement is wrong. And any province which is not prepared to accept the new constitution would have the right to sign a separate agreement with the British regarding its future status. In fact, this statement is correct. So during the Cripps proposal, the British plan is to divide and rule India. That is the reason why they wanted to promote the differences among Indians themselves. So that is correct statement. So because of which reason only Gandhi launched the Quit India movement immediately after the Cripps proposal. So because of which reason 2 only is the answer for this question, sir. This is a very very good question in UPSC Prelims. So that is the answer is 2 only, sir. The next question with reference to Indian history, consider the following statements. The Dutch established their factories or warehouses on the east coast on lands granted to them by the Gajapati rulers, sir. So then second statement, the Alfonso de Albuquerque captured Goa from the Bijapur Sultanate. I told you that the European trading companies is a very important section. The English East India Company established a factory at Madras on a plot of land leased from a representative of the Vijayanagara Empire. So in fact, this is a very very good question, sir. So the third statement is definitely correct. So the Vijayanagara Empire representative was present at Chandragiri at that point of time, and he is the one who granted the land to the British of a small fishing village called Channapatna, and that became Madras. So that statement is correct. Then if you look at the second statement, Alfonso de Albuquerque captured Goa from the Bijapur Sultanate. So in fact, the Portuguese actions in India is a very 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 important section, sir. In fact, the year before also they asked a question on during which sultans rule in Gujarat the Portuguese were able to capture Daman and Diu बोल के question पूछा था, sir. So that is also a very good question. So because of which the Portuguese India is very very important, particularly the people like Vasco da Gama. What is their life story? Did they only discover the sea route to India? Okay, where they died, why they died, okay, where is their dead body today? Because there are some questions on the dead bodies of important personalities too, sir. So Vasco da Gama ka to definitely you have to look up on, sir. You read briefly, you take a little bit of interest on Indian history, then Indian history is going to help you in your preliminary examination, sir. तो थोड़ा देख लीजिए उसका वास्को ड गामा का क्या स्टोरी है, क्योंकि इतना पोर्चुगीज के बारे में क्वेश्चन पूछ रहे हैं. द फर्स्ट पोर्चुगीज टू लैंड ओके इन इंडिया इज वास्को ड गामा. उसका थोड़ा हिस्ट्री देख लीजिए आप लोग. सो यू ट्राई इट. सो इट इज इन फैक्ट वेरी वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग हिस्ट्री, सर. So that is the reason why I am asking you to look at Vasco da Gama when so many Portuguese are being asked as a question. So spending some 15-20 minutes on Vasco da Gama is not going to be wrong, sir. Is it all right? So that's the case, sir. So the second statement is also correct. He is also a very famous friend of the Vijayanagara Empire's ruler Krishnadevaraya. Then uske saath saath mein even Alfonso Mango is also named after him. So all of these are important contributions of his, sir. Then when it comes to the Dutch, okay, Dutch in India. So if you look at, they did not in fact establish any port town on the Odishan coast, sir. Their main station was Machilipatnam. Then apart from Machilipatnam, they also had control over Pulicat. Okay, in eastern India, these are the two important stations of there. Then apart from that, in western India, if you look at, the Dutch established their stations, okay, at places like Calicut is one place, Surat is one more place where they established themselves, but they did not have any control or over any Odishan coast region, sir. In fact, the Gajapati rulers are also, in fact, by the time of the Dutch entry into India, they became a fading force, sir. They were not so important in the history of eastern India by the time of the Dutch entry into India. So the first statement is wrong. Second and third statements are correct. So the answer for this question is 2 and 3 only is the answer for this question, sir. Then look at the 2021 question. In the first quarter of the 17th century, in which of the following areas the factories of English East India Company were located is the question, sir. So in fact, for this particular section, what I am asking you people to do is you take out a map, okay, and you search online important ancient Indian ports of India, important medieval ports of India. Then apart from that, I told you that the English East India Company's ports, Portuguese ports already were made as maps by Wikipedia itself. So you download those maps and you keep regularly looking at these maps, sir, because the questions are coming on the maps itself. So in fact, this is one very tough question that has been asked, sir. And if you look at, in the first quarters of the 17th century, in which of the following the factory or factories of the English East India Company is located, the answer for this question is, in fact, only at the place which is Broch, they had their port town, sir. Broch is nothing but, it is Bharuch, sir, or Bhargu Kutch. So this Bhargu Kutch, Bharuch so Broch are the same place, that is in the Gujarat coast in the Cambay region. This port town is there from medieval time, and even in ancient time also it is a very important port town, sir. In fact, one wing of the Silk Route also was attached to the Broach port, sir. So it is a very important port town in the Cambay region. In fact, before Surat, this was a very prominent port town, sir. And definitely the English have established themselves in Broach, but they did not, or there was no presence of theirs in Chikakol and Trichinopoly, sir. So 2 and 3 is wrong, whereas 1 is correct for this answer. So 1 only is the correct answer for this question. But this question is a very difficult question to solve, unlike you prepare the maps of the various European trading companies, sir. So you prepare the maps or you see the Wikipedia maps, there you will be able to clearly see this. The answer for this question is Broach, sir. That is A, 1 only is the answer for this question. Then see the next question. With reference to Madarapalli of Andhra Pradesh, which one of the following statements is correct? So when it comes to Madarapalli of Andhra Pradesh, so that is a very important region for the Theosophical Society, sir. Theosophical Society had a college there. So Theosophical College was there. Then apart from the Theosophical College, one important member of the Theosophical Society is Diddu Krishnamurti. He also belongs to the same Madarapalli region. Then along with that, even Margaret Cousins is a very important women movement leader of modern times. She also belonged to the same college. In fact, she was a music teacher in the Madarapalli College, and there itself, Janagaramana. In fact, its tune was set by Margaret Cousins. So the national anthem and the national song of India. So both of them are very important, sir. National anthem. In fact, there is a misconception which is doing rounds that national anthem of India, it has been drafted in praise of the British king. But this is a misnomer, primarily because he has written, Rabindranath Tagore has drafted Janaganamana as a Brahmo prayer, sir. So in fact, the Janaganamana is written for the formless Brahmo god or Brahma, who is a very important figure in the Brahmo movement, that is the formless god, the universal god. In his praise, the song is written, sir. In fact, it was written down in 1907-1908 period, but it was first sung in the 1911 Calcutta session of the Congress, and its English translation was made at Madarapalli. So in fact, its tune was also set by Margaret Cousins. So these are the important things with respect to national anthem. And this year, expect a question on India versus Bharat, sir. So how the name India came about, how the name Bharat has come about. So all of these are important questions, sir. When it comes to the name India, so India is in fact a name which is given to the Indians by the Greeks, sir. So if you see, even Megasthenes has written a book called Indica, because the people who are living to the east of the Sindhu river, they were called as Hindus by the Greeks, sir. The same people are again called as Hindus by the Arabs, sir. So Arabs gave the name Hindu, whereas the Greeks gave the name of Hindu. So and from Hindu or Sindhu itself, the Hindu name has come. So because of which reason this year the name India, who gave it, is very important question, sir. Then uske साथ साथ में भारत का भी question आ सकता है. So in fact, who gave the name Bharat to India? So you might be knowing that India is what? Aryavarte, Bharatakande, Jambudvipe. So these are the usual Vedic verses, sir. Vedic verses में ही Bharatakande. So Aryavarte, because Aryan land is Aryavarte. Then one more is Jambudvipe, are the three names which are given, sir. Three names which are given usually in traditional India, of which Bharat has been adopted by the Indian government. In fact, Bharat is the name of the son of Shakuntala in Abhijnana Shakuntalam. Then in his name itself a tribe was created that is called as Bharatas, and they are the ones who fought the very famous Dasarajanya war in the early Vedic period. Then along with fighting the Dasarajanya war, they became the root group for the Kuru clan, and the Kurus are the ones who fought the Mahabharata. So this way there is a clear-cut link from the Bharata king of Abhijnana Shakuntalam to the Kuru clan, which fought the Mahabharata war. So that is the reason why Bharat is an Indian name, sir. Then along with that, there is also some link to Bharata Muni, is one famous sage of ancient India. So and his name is also considered here. So in Ramayana also, the brother of Lord Rama is also called as Bharata. So this is essentially an Indian name which is born in the Indian culture. So because of which reason our constitution makers also called India, that is Bharat. So but recently in the G20 meeting, you might have seen that the Indian Prime Minister has put the name Bharat forward. So that can be a pointer to UPSC to ask a question on India versus Bharat issue, sir. Is it clear? So that is one area that you need to focus upon. The national song ke bare mein, so Bankim Chandra Chatterjee's book Anand Mat, it contained Bande Matram, and Vande Mataram is written as a song for the Sannyasi rebels, sir. The first rebellion of Indians against the British is the Sannyasi rebellion. So in fact, this year a movie is also being made on the same. So there is a possibility, sir. Okay, so because national song, national anthem, always they are important. Without any trigger also they can be asked. You should know clearly about the history of the national song and national anthem, sir. So this is important, and the answer for this question is Rabindranath Tagore translated the national anthem from Bengali to English here, sir. So you can see Madanapalli has a link with Blavatsky and Olcott too, because both of them are the Theosophists. So that is one reason, sir. So C is the answer for this question. So C is the answer for this question. The next question, if you look at, so this is a question on a Portuguese, okay, saint, Christian missionary by the name of Saint Francis Xavier. So this question was definitely a bouncer for its time. Okay, only the people who have traveled well, okay, who have seen Goa's churches, they will be able to answer this question, sir. This question is definitely one of the tougher question. But Saint Francis Xavier is a person who established the Jesuit order, and he went to the Ibadat Khana of Akbar. There he tried to convert Akbar into Christianity, but when he failed in his mission, he came back to Goa, and from Goa he went to China, and in China he has died. And after his death in China, what happened is his dead body was brought back to Goa and it was buried there. After a few decades, the dead body was re-excavated because they wanted to build a church in his memory. But when the dead body was re-excavated, they were shocked to see that Saint Francis Xavier's dead body was not disintegrated. And when they found that the Saint Francis Xavier's dead body is not disintegrated, in fact, these people, what they have done is they started considering this to be as a miracle of Catholic faith. And every year a Saint Francis Xavier festival is celebrated in Goa. And even if we visit Saint Francis Xavier's church today in Goa, there we can see his dead body was preserved. Even now you can see his skin, his nails growing, his hair is also there. So this is one wonder. It means that a person who lived along with Akbar, his dead body has not disintegrated till date because of some techniques that they have used, and they consider it to be a miracle too. So because of which reason, so Saint Francis Xavier is one important personality in Portuguese history of India. When they ask such question on Saint Francis Xavier, don't you expect a similar question on Vasco da Gama? Definitely there is a good possibility, sir. He in fact came to India thrice, not once, as believed by people. He came to India thrice, and his death also happened in India because of some, okay, so tropical fever that he got, and he was buried in Calicut for some time. Then his dead body was taken back to Lisbon. So ऐसा Vasco da Gama पे भी एक क्वेश्चन बन सकता है. So that is how we need to prepare for the examination, sir. So regular rote learning, okay, so very crude methods of preparation are not going to work. So we have to have a fine-tuned strategy towards the prelims examination, sir. And in the strategy, this is very important. So in fact, the answer for this question is 2 is not there. 1 and 3 is the answer for this question, sir. C is the answer for this question. So Jesuit order, he died in China. The feast of Saint Francis Xavier is celebrated even today, every year. So 1 and 3 is the answer for this question. See the next question. The Montagu-Chelmsford reforms of 1919 recommended granting voting rights to all women above the age of 21. So in fact, if you use your common sense, you will be able to answer this question, sir. During the British rule, even all men did not get voting rights, sir. So that is an impossible statement. All men above 21 years of age, they were not given voting right. Men only on the basis of their property and educational qualification, they were given voting rights, sir. There was no universal male franchise during the British colonial. So naturally, the first statement is wrong. Okay, in fact, 1919 Act, it gave the discretion to the state governments to give women voting rights, sir. And Madras became the first state to give women the voting rights. Okay, so that is the case, but never to all women. Then the second one is the Government of India Act of 1935 gave women reserved seats in the legislature. So this is a correct statement, sir. In fact, there is a lot of confusion with respect to who got reservations, who got separate electorate, who got special constituencies. इनके ऊपर बहुत ज़्यादा confusion है, sir. In fact, in 1935 Act, 3 communities got reservation. One is women, second one is scheduled caste, third is scheduled tribe, sir. Then along with that, there were also separate electorates which were given to Muslims, Christians. Then along with that, Sikh community is also given separate electorate. Then along with the Sikhs, Anglo-Indians were given separate electorate. Indian Christians were given separate electorate. Europeans were given separate electorate. So this way, okay, so Indian Christians, Muslims, then Sikhs, then along with that, there is the community of Anglo-Indians and Europeans. So all 5 communities, they got separate electorates, sir. Then when it comes to special constituencies were given to landlords, workers, Then along with the landlords and workers, one more community which is given special constituency is the commercial community of India. It means traders got special constituency, landlords means zamindars got special constituency, workers also got special constituency in 1935 Act, sir. So this way we need to have absolute clarity with respect to who got what in which act, sir. Similarly, in 1919 Act, if you look at, there were also at that point of time too, separate electorates were there, special constituencies were there, but no reservation was given. Separate electorates in 1919 Act were given to the किसको दिया था? So one is Muslim community, then second one is Sikhs. Okay, these two communities were given separate electorate in 1919 Act, whereas special constituencies were given to. So in fact, in 1919 Act, if you look at, landlords is one community, then commercial community is also given special constituency in 1919 Act. Then along with that, the Europeans were also given special constituency in 1919 Act, sir. तो ऐसा आप लोगों को याद रखना चाहिए. So in fact, the second statement is correct, first statement is wrong, sir. So the answer for this question is 2 only is the answer for this question. Then just see this, 7th August पे एक क्वेश्चन आया, तो 8th August पे उनके उससे पहले ही क्वेश्चन आया था, सर. 8th August of 1942 in Indian history, which one of the following statements is correct? In fact, the answer for this question is A, that is the Quit India resolution was adopted by the All India Congress Committee. So A is the answer for this question, and the resolution was proposed by Jawaharlal Nehru, whereas the call of Quit India is given by Yusuf Mehroli, sir. So this kind of facts, high level facts, you need to recall in the examination. For that, you need to have a specific kind of preparation that is going to help you. Then after that, who among the following is associated with the songs from prison? I told about this. It is Mahatma Gandhi, who translated the verses of the Bhakti movement into English language in the name of Songs of Prison. In fact, he wrote My Experiments with Truth, Songs from Prison, and Hind Swaraj is one more book of his. Whereas the newspapers which were published by Gandhi are Indian Opinion. Then along with that Indian Opinion, he also published the newspaper, so which is called as Harijan. Then along with Harijan, he also published one more newspaper called Young India, sir. So 3 newspapers, 3 books. So try to remember that. Then after this, the next one is, who among the following was associated as the secretary with the Hindu female school, which later became Bethune School? In fact, one personality who is associated with the widow remarriage, that is Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar. The same person is also associated with female education. He was the principal of the Sanskrit college too, and his name is Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar. And Vidyasagar is the title which has been given to him by the students of the Sanskrit college. So Sanskrit college was originally established by a person called Jonathan Duncan. So all of these are important facts, sir. So the answer for this question is Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar is the answer for this question. Then the next question is a cakewalk question. Shahnawaz Khan, Prem Kumar Sehgal, and Gurbaksh Singh Dhillon. These are the 3 people who are associated with RIN mutiny, sir. RIN mutiny, these 3 people are associated with, and they are associated with the Red Fort trials and who tried to defend them. So those areas also you need to take a look upon. So the answer for this question is what? So in fact, the answer for this question is officers of the Indian National Army, sir. D is the answer for this question. Then the next question, this is also definitely a bouncer question, but a very interesting question, sir. In fact, UPSC sometimes not only tries to test our historical knowledge, but sometimes tries to teach us very good historical knowledge, sir. Definitely, but on the day of the examination in the 2021 year, in the year 2020 when the exam was conducted, so this question was considered to be a bouncer question, and a person should not evaluate himself on this question, sir. But today, if the same question has been asked, okay, so because already UPSC has given a hint that it is going to, or it has asked the question, so today we should have absolute knowledge about the Rakmabai case. This is where most aspirants commit mistakes, sir. So they think that once a question is asked, UPSC is not going to return to the same question. But UPSC is a habitual offender, sir. It is going to come back to the same statements, same questions, same issues again and again, over and over again. It is going to come back to the same issues. So that is the reason why every option in UPSC is important. In fact, if you look at in UPSC, okay, so the UPSC examination only speaks through its syllabus and through its questions, sir. And in preliminary examination, the syllabus is in fact completely unuseful because they have mentioned just simply one statement, history of India, and they are asking questions like Rakmabai case. Okay, so it is not very enlightening to read the syllabus of UPSC prelims for history section, but looking at the previous year questions is a highly enlightening experience. So of which this question Rakmabai case is one such question, sir. So and in fact in Rakmabai case, what we need to know is Rakmabai case is a very important case in Indian history, primarily because this case is associated with the issues like, okay, the woman's right to be divorced, okay, the husband's conjugal rights. Rakmabai, okay, she fought against her husband called Bikaji. This is one case where the extremists and moderates fought against each other. In fact, Rakhmabai's husband Bikaji was supported by Balagangadhar Tilak. So the Bombay High Court asked Rakhmabai, who is a highly educated woman, to stay with her husband. She wanted divorce. She was forcefully asked to stay with her husband. Then this lady, she wrote a petition to the British Queen also, sir, saying that I don't want to live with my husband. Very interesting case study. So you have to read the case and you should know what is this Rakhmabai case. Already the question has been asked. So in fact, the answer for this question is it revolved around the woman's right to conjugal or the conjugal rights issue. Conjugal rights means, okay, so in fact the sexual rights. Then uske saath saath mein it also is associated with the age of consent issue. So the answer for this question is 2 and 3 only is the answer for this question. B is the answer for this question, sir. So very good question it has been asked, sir. So then after this, the next question, indigo cultivation in India declined by the beginning of 20th century. So in fact, the economic impact of British colonial rule is also one important topic. But most questions in the economic impact of British colonial rule can be answered even by just superficial reading of the economic impact on British colonial rule, sir. They're not asking very tough, deep, factual questions here. Very simple questions they are asking. So in fact, the answer for this question is, okay, so the unprofitability of indigo in the world market because of the new inventions. The new invention which they are talking about is the second industrial revolution in Germany, where the chemical industries in Germany, they were able to produce synthetic dyes, which led to a crash in indigo prices because synthetic dyes are of better quality, they are more long lasting, okay, and they also produce multiple types of colors apart from blue, sir. So that is the reason why, okay, the indigo cultivation in India it declined by 20th century, sir. So the answer for this question is B is the answer for this question. The next one, Wellesley established Fort William College at Calcutta. So in fact, there is a section in Indian history, modern Indian history called Orientalists, sir. So in fact, the Orientalists are the people who tried to study about India, who tried to, in fact, promote Indian culture, Indian model of education. Okay, and UPSC is very interested in the Orientalist faction, sir. So in fact, we have people like William Jones who established the Asiatic Society of Bengal, Fort William College by Lord Wellesley, then Calcutta Madrasa by, in fact, it was established by this person by the name of Warren Hastings, Sanskrit College by Jonathan Duncan. So in fact, this way there are many unique contributions of the British, sir. James Prinsep is the one who deciphered the Ashokan inscriptions which were written in Brahmi language. So ऐसा बहुत सारे इंपॉर्टेंट लोग हैं सर ओरिएंटलिस्ट में, उसके ऊपर यूपीएससी का फोकस है. तो आप लोग एक काम कर सकते हैं, ओरिएंटलिस्ट बोल के आप ऑनलाइन पे टाइप किया तो सो ओरिएंटलिस्ट ऑफ इंडिया यू विल गेट ए लिस्ट ऑफ द ओरिएंटलिस्ट. मैक्स मुलर इज वन मोर पर्सन. तो इनके बारे में थोड़ा पढ़ने के लिए ट्राई कर लीजिए सर. So in fact, they are very important people, sir. Fort William College, he established this college in order to train the civil servants, sir. But this college did not survive for quite a long period of time. It was replaced by, okay, the East India College of the Britishers, which they established in Great Britain at a place which is called as Haileybury in Hertfordshire. Hertfordshire, Haileybury is the place where they established their college to replace the Fort William College, sir. So, but the answer for this question is, what is the answer for this question? He wanted to train British civilians for administrative purposes in India is the answer for this question, sir. D is the answer. See here, the options may, you can see William Carey's name mentioned, sir. William Carey is also one important Christian missionary of India, sir. So you please read about William Carey. He was a present in the Danish mission of Sirampur. तो उसके बारे में भी थोड़ा पढ़ लीजिए. यहाँ पे ऑप्शंस जो है वही क्वेश्चंस बनेगा सर. So then after this, so Ulugan or Ulgulan is the term. It is a reference to the Munda uprising, sir. So in fact, if you read the themes in Indian history part 3 book, there itself you will find the term Ulgulan. Ulgulan means rebellion, sir. So the answer for this question is the Birsa Munda's revolt of 1899 to 1900. The next one is, which of the following correctly explains the impact of industrial revolution on India during the first half of the 19th century? It is a very simple question. Indian handicrafts were ruined, so we need not discuss much about it. So Indian handicrafts were ruined. First half of the 19th century is from 1800 to 1850. But if they ask a question by changing the date, the answer would become different, sir. Okay, so the British impact in 18th century India. Okay, so 18th century is India is different from the British impact on 19th century India. In 18th century India, the British exports have, or Indian exports have increased. But in 19th century, there was destruction of Indian handicrafts, sir. So that is the reason why the answer for this question is A. Then with reference to the book Desher Katha. So this is an impossible question, sir. Even today, so if they ask the same question, people will be able to answer. But if they point out to any other author, this question is an impossible question, sir. There was no current affairs link. There was nothing. Just out of the blue, they asked this question, sir. Deshir Katha. Okay, so in fact, Deshir Katha, the answer for this question, okay, Sakharam Ganesh Diuskar is the person who has written this book. So in fact, it talked about the colonial states' hypnotic conquest of the mind. It inspired the performance of Swadeshi street plays and folk songs because it was written in the context of the Swadeshi movement only. That statement is also correct. But the third statement, that is Desh, doesn't mean Bengal region, sir. It means India. The answer for this question is 1 and 2 only. But this question is an impossible question. Let me be very clear about it. So except for the people who might have taken a very wild guess and made the answer correct, no others has answered this question, sir. Okay, maybe some people from Bengal region might be knowing about the Yuskar, so that is a possibility, but answering these kind of questions is very difficult, sir. All right, so the answer for this question is 1 and 2 only is the answer for this question. Then after this, see the next question. The Gandhi Irwin Pact included which of the following statements? See, in fact, UPSC has dropped this question, sir. Even though it has asked the question, they have dropped this question. So in the UPSC key itself, it has been clearly mentioned that this question has been dropped from the paper. It means that the paper was only for 198 marks that particular year, sir. The reason is there are many controversies with respect to the Gandhi Irwin Pact, but according to the available historical sources, the answer for this question is 1, 2, and 4, sir. So there is invitation to Congress to participate in the roundtable conference, then acceptance of withdrawal of ordinances promulgated in connection with civil disobedience movement, that is also correct. Then release of only those prisoners who are not charged with violence. 1, 2, and 4 is the answer for this question. But there is a lot of controversy primarily because some things happened, okay, some agreements happened before Gandhi Irwin Pact, which are the legal provisions of Gandhi Irwin Pact. There are some controversies. That is the reason why the answer for this question is 1, 2, and 4, but the UPSC has dropped this question, sir. Then after this, see the next paper. With reference to land reforms in independent India, which of the following statements is correct? Okay, what is the major aim of land reform? Okay, so in fact, the major aim of land reform is B, sir. Okay, so it was to provide agriculture land to all the landless people. That is the answer for this question. B is the answer for this question. So land reforms, this is part of post-independent India, sir. So B is the answer for this question. Then consider the following statements about the Charter Act of 1813. See, administrative acts, again and again they are asking questions. So if you see, it ended the trade monopoly of the English East India Company in India except for trade in tea and trade in China. So trade with China. So that is correct statement. It asserted the sovereignty of the British Crown over the Indian territories held by the company. The same statement has been repeated from the 1784 Act से वही statement repeat हो रहा है sir. And finally they abolished the company's rule in 1858 Act. But the same statement was being repeated from 1784 itself. So the answer for this question 2 is correct statement. 1 is correct statement. The revenues of India were now controlled by the British Parliament. That is a wrong statement. Primarily because from 1784 on, the revenue matters of India were being looked upon by the Board of Control, sir. Okay, so Board of Control is the one which is looking after the revenue matters. So because of which reason, okay, so the parliamentary intervention in the revenue matters is not clearly stated in any of the acts, sir. So there was no parliamentary oversight here. So that is the reason why only in case of the Regulating Act of 1773 to 1784, only in this period, 1773 to 1784, only in that period through British parliamentary treasury, the British Parliament has overseen the revenue matters of India directly. But apart from this period, there is no other time when the British Parliament has directly overseen the revenue, sir. Initially, it was done by the Court of Directors. Later, it was done by the Secretary of State. So, but the British parliamentary oversight is not there, sir. So, the answer for this question is 1 and 2 only is the answer for this question. Then, next question is Swadeshi movement. It contributed to the revival of the indigenous artisan crafts and industries. That is correct. Then the National Council of Education was established as part of the Swadeshi movement. In fact, just look at all the educational institutions which have been established during Swadeshi movement. Okay, there is Saraswati Aitan is there. Brahmabandhu Upadhyaya is one prominent personality. Then Aravindo Ghosh is one prominent personality who established a national college in Bengal. तो ऐसा बहुत सारा contributions है सर, तो उसके बारे में आप ठीक से पढ़ लीजिए. So in fact, this National Council of Education was established during Swadeshi movement under the chairmanship of Aravindo Ghosh. So the answer for this question is both 1 and 2 only is the answer for this question, sir. Then consider the following page: movement or organization and its leader. So if you look at the movement, All India Anti-Untouchability League is one movement which has been referred, sir. In fact, the name of All India Untouchability League itself is Harijan Sevak Sangh, and it is definitely established by Mahatma Gandhi. Then along with Mahatma Gandhi, one prominent leader of this movement is, okay, so none other than, in fact, the person who is one important member of Harijan Sevak Sangh, Mahatma Gandhi. Okay, Babu Jagjivan Ram is one important member, sir. So he is a scheduled caste leader. So he is also the father of Meera Kumari. So he is very important personality in the All India Anti-Untouchability League, sir. So then next one is All India Kisan Sabha. It is Swami Sajananda Saraswati. Then self-respect movement. It is E.V. Ramaswamy Nayakar. So in fact, all the three statements are given correctly, sir. So this you can answer from just having a look at the spectrum's last section where the box matters are given. So all the organizations and their founders are mentioned. 1, 2 and 3 is the answer for this question, sir. Then with reference to the British colonial rule in India, Mahatma Gandhi was instrumental in abolition of the system of indentured labor. Yes, it is correct. So he played a very important role in abolishing indentured labor in the year 1917. Okay, in fact, indentured labor system was established by the British only post 1832, sir. Post 1832, they started the indentured labor system, as in 1832, the British banned, okay, slavery practice across their colonies and in their own country. That is the reason why they wanted the indentured labor. They established the system in 1832-1833 period, but they abolished the indentured labor system in 1917. The first statement is correct. Then Lord Chelmsford War Conference, Mahatma Gandhi did not support the resolution on recruiting Indians for World War. So in fact, here the war that they are referring to is World War I, primarily because Chelmsford is the Viceroy of India during World War I. So in fact, in this statement, the statement is openly wrong, as we know that Mahatma Gandhi supported the British in First World War, sir. In fact, he played a very important role in recruiting the soldiers also for First World War from Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh or Madhya Bharat and Bombay state, say. So he in fact played a very important role in recruiting the soldiers too. So that is one important thing, sir. Then along with that, but many people think that he has been given the title of Kaisar-e-Hind for his contribution to First World War, but it is wrong, sir. He was given the title of Kaisar-e-Hind for his contribution to Anglo-Boer War, sir. Then along with that, he returned back the Kaisar-e-Hind title during the Khilafat movement. So these are some additional facts just I wanted to discuss with you people. Then consequent upon the breaking of salt law by the Indian people, the Indian National Congress was declared illegal by the colonial rulers. Just see this. Yes, definitely the third statement is correct. So if you break the salt law, then Indian National Congress was banned at this point of time. 1 and 3 is the answer for this question, sir. So B is the answer for this question. Then with reference to Indian national movement, consider the following pairs. Tej Bahadur Sapru, All India Liberal Federation. Yes, he is a very important member, sir. Tej Bahadur Sapru. In fact, he exited Indian National Congress when Mahatma Gandhi launched the non-cooperation movement. He exited the Indian National Congress. He played a very critical role in revoking the Rowlatt Act. Okay, so then apart from revoking the Rowlatt Act, he also played a very important role in one more thing that he has done is for Tej Bahadur Sapru. So he was also the member of the defense committee of the INA men in the Red Fort trial, sir. तो इसका बहुत बढ़िया contribution है. So the answer for say Tej Bahadur Sapru, he is correct. KC Niyogi is the member of the Constituent Assembly. That is a correct statement. He is also the chairman of the First Finance Commission of India. Is also KC Niyogi, sir. Then apart from that, the third one, PC Joshi. He is the General Secretary of Communist Party of India. All the three statements are correct, sir. So PC Joshi is in fact one of the prominent communist of post-independent India. Even in pre-independent India also, he is a very important member. So all the three statements are correct. So the answer for this question is 1, 2 and 3 is the answer for this question. Then if you look at the previous question, Woods Dispatch. So definitely it has provided for the grants in scheme. Establishment of universities was recommended. Yes, that is correct. They established Bombay, Madras and Calcutta University. Then उसके साथ साथ में English as a medium of instruction at all levels of education was recommended. That is absolutely wrong, because Woods Dispatch, it talked about Anglo vernacular model of education. So that is the reason why the third statement is wrong. And 1 and 2 is the answer for this question. A is the answer. Then apart from this, see the next question. With reference to the educational institutions during colonial rule in India, Sanskrit College at Banaras, it has been established by Jonathan Duncan, sir. William Jones established Asiatic Society of Bengal. Then second statement, Calcutta Madrasa, Warren Hastings, it is correct. Fort William College. Fort William College is in fact established by Lord Wellesley, but not Arthur Wellesley. See here, there is a repetition of question. Arthur Wellesley is in fact the brother of Lord Wellesley. He in fact played a very important role in defeating Tipu Sultan in India. Then after that, he has also played a very important role in defeating Napoleon Bonaparte too, sir, and he became a Prime Minister of Great Britain also later, Arthur Wellesley. But Lord Wellesley is the one. Okay, Richard Wellesley is the one who established the Fort William College. Richard Wellesley's brother is Arthur Wellesley. So this statement is wrong, sir. See how they are playing with the names of Wellesley, sir. Okay, so the answer for this question is 1 is wrong, 2 is correct, 2 only is the answer for this question. B is the answer, sir. Which among the following events happened earliest is the question. So in fact, the order for this is Indigo Rebellion, that is Dinbandhu Mitra writing Neel Darpan is the earliest event, sir. It occurred in 1859-60 period. Then after that, Satyendranath Tagore becoming the first Indian to succeed in the Indian Civil Services examination. He became the first civil servant in 1863. 1861, Indians were given permission. He became the first civil servant in the year 1863. Bankim Chandra Chatterjee wrote Anand Mat somewhere around 1875. Dayananda Saraswati, 1872, sir. So this way very close by events, but the answer for this question is B is the answer. Then Swaraj Sabha. So in fact, if you know Hindi to English translation, you'll be able to answer the question. Okay, Swarajya is what? Home rule. So similarly, okay, All India Home Rule League is the one which was converted into Swarajya Sabha by Gandhiji himself, sir. So the answer for this question is A is the answer for this question, All India Home Rule League. Then which of the following led to the introduction of English education in India? Let's see that. The Charter Act of 1813, yes, definitely. It is one reason. Why? Because there is setup of 1 lakh rupees separate for the promotion of education in India. So option 1 is correct. Then General Committee of Public Instruction 1823. So yes, it also played a very important role. So 1823 said discussion karte. Finally, it came under the control of Thomas Macaulay, and it is the one which is responsible for the educational. Okay, so in fact, what they have done is they have given a educational. What is it called as? It is called as the Minute on Education. Minute on Education was given by Thomas Macaulay through General Committee of Public Instruction. Then Orientalist Anglicist controversy also happened in the General Committee of Public Instruction. So the answer for this question is 1, 2, and 3 is the answer for this question, sir. D. So please read about the Orientalists. There are many important Orientalists. They wrote or they translated many Indian Sanskrit books into English language. They established numerous institutions. They did a lot of historical research on India. तो ये सब ओरिएंटलिस्ट का काम था, सर. तो इसलिए आपको इस पे ज्यादा ध्यान देना पड़ेगा. डी इज द आंसर. Economically, one of the results of the British rule in India in 19th century is, okay, so economically one of the results of the British rule in India in 19th century, so commercialization of Indian agriculture is the answer for this question. C is the answer. Then after the Santal uprising, okay, definitely what they did is they created a separate province called Santal Pargana. So after Santal rebellion, then along with that, usually whenever a tribal rebellion happens, the British colonial states first measure is to stop the transfer of land from tribals to non-tribals, sir, so that the outsider influence will come down. In fact, because the Santal rebellion is against the Dikus, who are foreigners, that is the reason why. So both the provisions are correct, and this question directly is picked up from your NCERT books, Themes in Indian History, Part 3, sir. So the answer for this question is C, both 1 and 2. Then next question, you see, he wrote biography of Mazzini, Garibaldi, Shivaji, and Sri Krishna. Stayed in America for some time and was also elected to the Central Legislative Assembly. So in fact, okay, so the answer for this question is Lala Lajpat Rai, sir. So 3 directions they have given. One is Mazzini. Mazzini is usually considered to be Italian, extremist and revolutionary. So definitely the answer may extremist ही होना चाहिए. So we can eliminate Motilal Nehru. Okay, Motilal Nehru is not a extremist, sir. Then after that, staying in America for a few years. So if you see, after Swadeshi movement, Lala Lajpat Rai, he left India and he went to USA, sir. So that is the answer. Then that is a fetch here. Then after that, being elected to the Central Legislative Assembly, you might be knowing that he was part of the responsivist group in the Swarajis, sir. Swarajis में वो आदमी responsivist में शामिल थे. तो इसलिए Lala Lajpat Rai is the answer for this question. C is the answer. Then which one of the following statements does not apply to the system of subsidiary alliance introduced by Lord Wellesley? So subsidiary alliance में, so which was not the provision which is present. So in fact, there is no secure fixed income for the company, sir. Okay, no secure fixed income for the company, primarily because through the subsidiary alliance system, the salaries of the soldiers are being paid by the local rulers. But that doesn't mean that they are going to get revenue. The British are not getting any revenue, sir. They are just maintaining the troops at the cost of the local ruler. That's it. So the answer for this question is, in fact, okay, so C is the answer for this question. That is not part of subsidiary alliance. In fact, rest of them are correct. To maintain a large standing army at others' expense, that is correct. To keep India safe from Napoleonic danger, that is the reason why subsidiary alliance was extended by Lord Wellesley to establish British Parliament paramountcy. Okay, so that is definitely there, paramountcy over the Indian state, that is also there. Then after this, see the next question, 10th one, Hindu Mazdoor Sabha. In fact, this is one impossible question, sir. So this is one impossible question. So when it comes to the answer for this question, that is Hindu Mazdoor Sabha. So the answer for this question is none other than, so D is the answer, but this is very difficult to answer, sir. There are hundreds of such organizations, but D is the answer for this question. Then which of the following is very significant aspect of the Champaran Satyagraha? So in fact, Champaran Satyagraha is the one which joined the peasant unrest to the Indian national movement, sir. In fact, Gandhi's contribution is very important in bringing the peasants and workers into mainstream Indian nationalism. The peasants he brought in into the mainstream nationalism with the help of, one is the Champaran Satyagraha and the second one is Kheda Satyagraha. Whereas the workers he brought into the mainstream of Indian national movement through Ahmedabad mill strikes, sir. So that is the reason why the answer for this question is a C is the answer for this question. Then see this year, sir, 2018 year में 12 questions came from modern India. Highest markage for modern India this particular year, sir, 2018 में. Okay, so fluctuate होते रहते, तो ऐसा नहीं है कि अभी कम क्वेश्चन आ रहे तो नेग्लेक्ट करेंगे हम लोग, वैसा नहीं चलेगा सर. So definitely you have to read because anyhow it is there for mains in GS paper 1. So just see this question. So staple commodities which were exported by the British from Bengal region. So in fact of the staple commodities which are exported by the British from Bengal region are cotton, silk, saltpeter and opium, sir. So cotton, silk is understandable. So saltpeter is nothing but gunpowder, sir. Then opium is the drug that we know. So D is the answer for this question. Then 27 का question देख लीजिए. Who among the following were associated with the introduction of Raithwari settlement? So Lord Cornwallis is permanent settlement, sir. Alexander Reed and Thomas Munro are the two people who are responsible for the Raithwari settlement. Please make a note of all the important personalities, British personalities, who have made some positive contributions to India. So in fact, the answer for this question is 2 and 3 only is the answer for this question. C is the answer. Then consider the following dates. Radhakant Deb is the first president of British Indian Association. Gajra Lakshmi Narasimha Chetty, Surendranath Banerjee. So 3 names have been given, sir. So in fact, all the pre-Congress political parties in India or non-Congress political parties in India, their founders, their contribution has gained a lot of significance in UPSC, sir. So please focus on this area. It is given very clearly in the spectrum book. So you please focus on this area. So in fact, in this question, the answer is Gajra Lakshmi Narasimha Chetty is the one who established Madras Native Association, but not Madras Mahajan Sabha, sir. Madras Mahajan Sabha is established by Veera Raghavacharya. Okay, this is definitely a tough question, remembering so many people, their names, but you make a table and keep looking at it regularly, then you will be able to answer the question, sir. Second statement is wrong. Radhakant Deb is the one who supported the Sati practice also. He opposed Rajaram Mohan Roy. He established an organization called Dharma Sabha against Brahmo Samaj of Rajaram Mohan Roy. So he is a very important personality and he is the first president of British Indian Association. Surendranath Banerjee founded the Indian Association. So 1 and 3 is the answer for this question, sir. 1 and 3 is the answer for this question. Then the object of the Butler Committee of 1927. Very simple. So various committees are there. Butler Committee is one. So which in fact was appointed parallel to the Simon Commission in order to improve the relation between the government of India and the Indian states, sir. Here the Indian states are the princely states. So D is the answer for this question. This is a commission which is appointed parallel to the Simon Commission. So many such commissions have been asked as question. Welby Commission, Whitley Commission. तो ऐसा बहुत सारा क्वेश्चन आया है. So Southborough Commission. So you should be looking at the various commissions of the British government, sir. So please highlight them in spectrum when you read them. So D is the answer for this question. Then with reference to Indian freedom struggle, consider the following events: mutiny in Royal Indian Navy, Quit India movement, then second round table conference. 3 events are mentioned. Of these 3 events, which event occurred first? So in fact, naturally, second round table conference, Quit India movement and mutiny in a Royal Indian Navy, sir. So the answer for this question is 3, 2 and 1 is the answer. C is the answer for this question. Then the next question, see Cripps proposal के ऊपर 2023 में क्वेश्चन आया था. Then उसके पहले देख लीजिए 2016 में सेम Cripps proposal के ऊपर फिर से क्वेश्चन आया था. The plan of Sir Stafford Cripps envisaged that after the Second World War, okay, so what is the plan of his, sir? Okay, so in fact his plan was to give India dominion status, sir. So D is the answer for this question. India should be granted complete independence. It is not a clear-cut provision, sir. There was an option to become completely independent. but giving dominion status is very clearly stated by the Cripps proposal, sir. And India should be made a republic with the condition that she will join the Commonwealth. No. Okay, so that is not the case, sir. See, then partition also was not the proposal. They said just that whichever province wants to become independent, it can become. But they did not talk about okay partition particularly, because of which reason even Muhammad Ali Jinnah also rejected the Cripps proposal, sir. He did not talk about partition. He talked about provincial autonomy or provincial independence. But Muslim League was demanding Muslim separatism and Muslims' right to self-determination, which is not provincial autonomy. There is a little bit of difference between them. So that is the reason why the answer for this question is D is the answer. India should be given dominion status is the answer for this question. Then see the next one. What was the main reason for the split in the Indian National Congress at Surat in 1907? So in fact the answer for this question is B. Extremist lack of faith in the capacity of the moderates to negotiate with the British government is the main reason. So you might be knowing that Raj Bihari Ghosh. Okay, then apart from that Firoz Shah Mehta, Gopal Krishna Gokhale. So these are the important moderate leaders. B.G. Tilak is the important extremist leader, and the extremists were expelled from Indian National Congress. B is the answer for this question. Then I told you that the socio-religious reform movements are important. Keshav Chandra Sen ke upar question aaya tha. In fact, 2 and 3 is the answer for this question. He started the Treblanka of New Dispensation. That is the newspaper that he has started. So Treblanka of New Dispensation. Indian Reform Association also is created by him. Whereas the Calcutta Unitarian Society is established by Raja Ram Mohan Rai, sir. So it is very important. Calcutta Unitarian Society was established by Raja Ram Mohan Rai. So in fact, the answer for this question is 2 and 3 only. See, earlier the questions used to be very simple, sir. Montagu-Chelmsford reforms is what? Okay, it is nothing but the Government of India Act of 1919. So the answer for this question is constitutional reforms, sir. So now in the same Montagu-Chelmsford reforms, they are going to the extent of asking which subjects are reserved and which subjects are transferred. It's not about question, is about diarchy today. But subject matters of diarchy is asked as question. See, okay, Satyashodhak Samaj organized. Okay, so in fact, an anti-caste movement in Maharashtra, sir. So we might be knowing Jyotiba Phule is the leader of Satyashodhak Samaj. The Raja of Kolhapur, in fact, supported this Satyashodhak Samaj. Very important personality, sir. Lower caste leaders are doubly important for us. So the answer for this is an anti-caste movement in Maharashtra. Then next question, the Swadeshi and boycott were adopted as the methods of struggle for the first time during. Okay, Swadeshi and boycott. So in fact, of the questions which have been given, agitation against the partition of Bengal is the right answer, sir. Agitation against the partition of Bengal is the right answer. A is the right answer, sir. In fact, Swadeshi as a term or Swadeshi and boycott resolution. In fact, boycott resolution is passed by Surendranath Banerjee. Boycott as a plan was proposed first by K.K. Mitra. So this way there are some important personalities are also involved here. So the answer for this question is anti-partition. The first woman president of Indian National Congress was Sarojini Naidu. That is absolutely wrong because it is Annie Besant. The first Muslim president of Indian National Congress was Badruddin Tayyabji. That is correct. In fact, women presidents there are 3 women presidents, Annie Besant, Sarojini Naidu, and the third one is this lady by the name of Nellie Sengupta. But Nellie Sengupta, even though her name has Sengupta, she is not an Indian, sir. She is an European woman who was married to an Indian nationalist leader by the name of James Sengupta. And first is Annie Besant, second is Sarojini Naidu, third is Nellie Sengupta. And 2 European women and only 1 Indian woman, sir. That is Sarojini Naidu. Alright. So this is very important. So the answer for this question is 2 only is the answer. Then Tanjore Coast Salt Law. So Tanjore means Tamil Nadu. So the Tamil Nadu means immediately we should remember C. Rajagopalachari. Because Vivo Chidambaram Pillai he is associated with Swadeshi movement. Then C. Rajagopalachari is associated with the Quit India movement. Sorry, Quit India is civil disobedience movement. K. Kamaraj is a leader who in fact gave this as the chief minister of the Madras province. He is the one who introduced midday meal program, sir. And he was an absolutely illiterate person. Okay, but who knew the importance of education. Annie Besant is home rule. Then after that, see the next question. Act of 1919. See 1919 के ऊपर UPSC को बहुत fascination है sir. उस पे ज़्यादा ध्यान दीजिए. So the separation of power between the judiciary and the legislature. Then उसके साथ में the jurisdiction of central and provincial governments. In fact, B is the correct answer, sir, because this is the act which first divided the central and provincial lists were clearly divided by this act, sir. So the answer for this question is B. Then with reference to the Congress Socialist Party, consider the following statements. It advocated the boycott of British goods and evasion of taxes. Evasion of taxes is a very extreme term, sir. Okay, evasion of taxes it never proposed. And it is established by people like Jayaprakash Narayan, Achyut Patavardhan, R.M. Lohia, okay, Mino Minsai, then Indulal Egnaki. So many important leaders are there in this movement, sir. but it never asked for evasion of taxes. It wanted to establish the dictatorship of proletariat. No, these people believed in Fabian socialism, that is democratic socialism. They never believed in Marxism, sir. Marxism means the dictatorship of proletariat. Second statement is also wrong. It advocated a separate electorate for minorities and oppressed classes. So why will the socialists demand a separate electorate for minorities, sir? Definitely socialists are against using religion in politics. Why will they declare? So that is the reason why all the three options are wrong, and the answer for this question is D is the answer for this question, sir. D. Then which of the following were economic critiques of colonialism in India? Dadabhai Nauroji, poverty and un-British rule in India. G. Subramaniam Iyer, the Hindu newspaper. Swadeshi Mitran. So he is a strong critique of the colonialism and its economic impact. R.C. Dutt, he has written the book Economic History of India. So the answer for this question is 1, 2 and 3 is the answer for this question, sir. So with reference to the Rowlatt Satyagraha, Rowlatt Act was based on the recommendation of the Sedition Committee. So in fact that is statement is correct, sir. The Sedition Committee is headed by none other than Rowlatt himself. That is the reason why this act is called as Rowlatt Act, sir. In fact, the original name of the act is Anarchical and Revolutionary Crimes Act. So that is the original statement of or name of the act, sir. So the answer for this question, first statement is correct. Second statement is in Rowlatt Satyagraha, Gandhiji tried to use the Home Rule League. Yes, because he was not, or his movement was not accepted by Indian National Congress. He tried to use the Home Rule League, sir. Then along with that, he also established one organization of his own, which is called as Satyagraha Sabha. So the second statement is correct. Then demonstrations against the arrival of the Simon Commission coincided with Rowlatt Satyagraha. In fact, they are distant by nearly some 7 to 8 years, sir. Okay, 1919 or 1918 is the year when Rowlatt Satyagraha is conducted, whereas the Simon Commission protests were conducted in 1927. So the answer for this question, third is wrong. 1 and 2 is the correct answer. B is the answer, sir. Then which one of the following movements has contributed to a split in the Indian National Congress, resulting in the emergence of moderates and extremists? So A, Swadeshi movement is the answer. Very simple question. So with reference to Indian history, which of the following are the essential element of the feudal system? So in fact, this question has been wrongly printed here. I'll discuss it in ancient and medieval. Ancient and medieval में हम लोग discuss करेंगे feudal system का. Then 2014 question, if you see, the partition of Bengal made by Lord Curzon in 1905 lasted until, so I told about this, right? King George V abrogated Curzon's act at the Royal Darbar in Delhi in 1911, and that is when Lord Hardinge was trying to enter into Delhi. So Basant Kumar Bishwas and Raj Bihari Bose, they threw a bomb on him, sir. Okay, but luckily he was able to escape, but he was grievously hurt, sir. So B is the answer. Then the 1929 session of the Indian National Congress is of significance in the history of freedom movement because of 1929 session is Lahore session, Purna Swaraj. So in fact, you have to make a list of all the important sessions, sir. So the answer for this question is attainment of Purna Swaraj. B is the answer. Jawaharlal Nehru is the president of this session. Then the Gadar was what? Okay, today now they are asking the members of Gadar. Earlier they were asking just only the meaning of Gadar. So A is the answer. Revolutionary Associations of Indians with its headquarters at San Francisco is the answer for this question. A. Then what was or were the object of Queen Victoria's proclamation of 1858? Okay, to disclaim any intention to annex Indian states. That is a correct statement. Then second one is what? To place the Indian administration under the British crown. That is also correct. Third one, to regulate English East India Company's trade with India. In fact, they tried to remove the English East India Company's control over India, sir. Third statement is wrong. 1 and 2 only is the answer for this question. Then the Radcliffe Committee was appointed to delimit the boundaries between India and Pakistan. C is the answer for this question. C is the answer for this question. Then with reference to Indian history, the members of the Constituent Assembly from the provinces were, okay, Constituent Assembly में provinces से कैसा आया? So they were in fact elected by the provincial legislative assemblies. C is the answer for this question. Then the demand of the Tebag movement in Bengal was for. So in fact, Tebaga itself means 1/3, sir. Tebaga means 1/3. So because of which reason the answer for this question is the reduction of the share of landlords from 1/2 to 1/3, sir. That is Tebaga. Tebaga is 1/3. So if you know the meaning of Tebaga, you will be able to answer this question. A is the answer for this question. Then the people of India agitated against the arrival of Simon Commission because, okay, the reason is what? There was no Indian member in the Simon Commission. Simple question. C is the answer. Okay, so Quit India movement is launched in response to what? Trips proposal, sir. Very simple question. I told you, you have to focus on all the 6 acts. Then Annie Besant was responsible for starting the Home Rule League movement. Yes, she was the founder of the Theosophical Society. Wrong, because it has been established by Alcott and Madame Blavatsky, sir. Okay, so then once the president of the Indian National Congress. Yes, So 1 and 2 only is the answer for this question. 1 and 3 is the answer for this question. That is C is the answer, sir. Okay, so then last question, the Ilward Bill controversy was related to. Okay, so removal of disqualifications imposed on the Indian magistrates with regard to the trial of Europeans is the answer for this question, sir. So this way, so you will have a PDF of the questions shared with you. So you please look at the discussion through the PDF, sir. So discussion through the PDF. So the answer for this question is removal of disqualifications, and it was attempted by Lord Ripon, sir. And actually the disqualifications were removed against Indians in the year 1921. So on this note, we will take a break for some time. Then after that, we will continue with the discussion of ancient, medieval, and art and culture, sir. Okay, so on this note, let's take a break.